Hey folks, this is Janie and welcome to my backyard living. I just wanted to kind of touch base with you and let you know what all we're getting done today in the backyard. Been have a nice cloudy day up there, so it's been great to work outside all day. So all the girls, they're thinking they're gonna get some treats or something. No, I don't have anything for you. So we're gonna go to the garden and I'll show you. It's starting to look really different. A lot of different things are going on. Been cleaning up. I'll show you some weed eating and some trimming. So I'm trying to get my tomatoes to go ahead and start to blush so I can pull them, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. And then I'll show you my peppers are looking really great. So I hope I get a good harvest of peppers here a little bit late in the season, but I'll take them when I can get them. So here is the peppers that I showed you that I planted. So I've had to brace that one up. And again, and what I found out and what I learned about peppers, because I was trying to study and figure out what's going on with peppers, you can have large, gorgeous, beautiful plants, but these peppers were planted in amongst the tomatoes, and I've learned that you need to let your peppers dry out. These are bell peppers. They need to dry out in between waterings, and unlike the tomatoes who like a consistent watering, so I think that's what my problem is. So they do have to stay separate from the tomatoes, and they will come out here in these beds, and they're doing really great. I've got a lot of fruit is coming on now. So like I said, if I get them, I'll get them later, and that's fine with me. So I'm starting to trim out all of my tomatoes. Yeah, I don't need any of those. So I got my potato bags going again. So if anybody's planting potatoes, I think I've kind of found out on my own. I did some research, and I would plant my potato like it was a seed or something. So I just put it right up underneath the surface. Well, I didn't. So just myself, I'm like, well, let me plant them all the way to the bottom. Ooh, I felt a couple of drops. Plant them all the way to the bottom of the bag, and it'll be cooler weather, I think, before they come on. Well, it didn't take them no time, and they shot right up. And I'm thinking, from the seed being at the bottom of the bag and then the flowering coming up, I should have potatoes. So if you all know if you're good about planting potatoes and you get a good full bag harvest, let me know if I'm on the right track with that. But I think that kind of in my mind, I think about it, and I think that makes sense. And let me show you, these are my other, so these are my jalapenos I planted, those little plants that I got. My jalapenos, my shishitos, and then see, this is what I do to the tomato plant. This was that everybody, sorry about the noise, everybody is working outside in the farms next door. They're all doing what they can on this beautiful cloudy day. So anyway, on the tomato plant, this one was just lush and green and had all kinds of growing greenery on it. Well, I've gotten rid of all the greenery because I want the energy to be put into the tomatoes, so I can get what tomatoes I can out of there. Wow, we're getting a few raindrops. I'm gonna have to apologize to the meteorologist because I say he's a liar all the time. But anyway, so and then in the greenhouse, I'm getting 3 trays. I got 3 trays of salads going, lettuce. So I have, and I'm trying to get better with labeling everything, and I have my seeds, and I have my container here. So if I'm getting good at labeling those, so I'm trying to label these. So the butter crunch lettuce, green salad bowl is what it said on the package, and these are emerald oak lettuce, and it says the 3 front rows, and then the 3 back rows are spinach. So I'll have those, I'll have some lettuce and spinach going all the way through almost to Christmas. I'll harvest right out of these little trays, and I'll plant a few of them in a bigger pot, and up pot them. But I'll get lettuce for my salads and stuff all the way through till Christmas. And then let me see what else have I got going. Oh, I'll show you some of the other stuff I got planted and cleaned up. Here's my squash plant. And I've got it going up and got it going up. I've got a lot of blooms there. I have another squash there. I think I have 4 squash in the house. And then here's another plant, and this is the lower plant. I got a squash here. Folks, let me tell you, this plant right here was the saddest looking plant on this corner. I almost ripped it out and threw it away. But I think I've gotten 3 or 4, and look at the blooms on there. I've gotten 3 or 4 squash over there, and that's the most I've gotten all year. And then I've got that nice squash up there that's going to come out. And then as long as I can keep it, I'll keep trailing it. See the trail? And it goes across here and it comes down through here. So where I could pull it up and get it, and I did crack it a little bit. Let me see. You can see the cracking right there where I pulled it up and tied it up, but it repairs itself and closes up, and then it just takes off. And it's been a beautiful plant. My my June beans, the beans I got going, they're doing wonderful. I'll get some beans coming up. And then my banana peppers, since I cleaned out all of the cucumbers. Cucumbers were all right here. Cleaned all them out, opened up this area for the sunlight for these peppers, and look at the peppers. Ooh, I'm gonna be full of peppers. And then right here, I just now got all of this side of the bed amended, and I have my Walla Walla onions. So where I have it labeled, you can see the label. So from label to label, except for these, the Walla Walla onions, I went ahead and planted all the way up underneath that zucchini bush. So when that zucchini bush is done, then I should have my onions coming up. And look at another zucchini. I've gotten several off of this plant. Like I said, I almost gave up on it, but I kept going, and look at it. If you can see, its stem runs here, runs there, comes up over here, comes up over there. And I did tie it off to this cattle panel to kind of help support it. But this right here, I can't even remember what I had. I had some odds and ends stuff planted there, but I amended this bed, got it all cleaned up and everything. And like I said, I'm trying to do better on my labels. So green onions, I cut a bunch of green onions from, I gotta cover these up, from the store, and then I just plop those in. You know, your tall green onions, just plop them in the ground. Mark me some green onions. I didn't put my dates on there, but like my leeks. So from the end of that tape to the end of this tape, I have leeks all planted there. And some good information you can put. So the G is germination. So 7 to 14 days for germination. So I should start looking for leeks. And then I'll have my date. White Grando onions, germination 8 to 10 days. They should be, or 8 to 10 weeks, they should be germinating. And they'll come out in there. So I know that in that amount of time, I should be looking for the germination and what's coming up. And so any kind of information that you would want, gee, when did I plant those? And I was writing it on the package, but I would have to go pull my package out, re-look at it, and see when so all my information is right here. So what I'm looking at, and it's all right there. You can get, I haven't got me one, but you can get a UV protected marker. And this is just a Sharpie, so I'm going to see how it does. But, so I'm kind of planning out my garden. So I have squash, zucchini, beans over here. I have onions here. So this next year is going to be tomatoes. So I'm going to plant tomatoes on this outside. But for the onions that I've planted now, I'm going to take bricks. And I'm going to put bricks along the side here. And then I'm going to put plastic that's going to go all the way up over the trellis and come back down on the other side. So here and here, when I can replant something else here, that's all going to be protected. Hopefully I'm going to keep it this winter as protected as possible for whenever I'm growing that stuff. And then got me a trellis up over here, and I have These are my sugar snap peas. I'll have those germinate. See, I don't have no markings on there, so I need to mark it so I know when, and they germinated and came up just fine, and they're doing great. I didn't plant a whole lot because I'm just seeing what I'm going to do with those. And then in this bed also, all along the outside or where I don't have any sugar snap peas, I've planted my garlic. And then you can see here on the tomatoes, they're starting to blush out. All of these I found all up in here were all green tomatoes, so they're starting to, but you can see how I've cut everything back. And even if I got a bunch of these on like the end of this, it's not going to be enough. This can't support ripening these, and then all the way out to the end. So I pick where I'm going to cut them off and get a good bunch of tomatoes going, and then I cut everything off. I don't know if you can see back there in the compost pile. It's getting full of all that, and then I've got all that there. This bed has been cleaned out and it's been amended, and I need to add some more soil to it. And then my jungle, if you look back on some of my other videos, or if you watch some of my other video, this is what's left of my jungle. So I'm cleaning all this out bit by bit. And if you do it a little bit at a time, it's not so overwhelming when it comes time. When you get a frost and everything, oh, look at this one. You get a frost and everything starts dropping. Oh, look at that one. It must have green or blushed up, ripened up. And this was what I was supposed to be getting. And see a little bit of damage right there. This was what I was supposed to be getting out of these, and I was getting those little yellow tomatoes. But that one that was here on the end that I was talking about, it's a big, beautiful tomato like this, a nice yellow tomato. The low acid tomato is what that is. So I'll put that right there. But all of these are trimmed up, and all of these are ready to, I'm just waiting for them to kind of start to blush and see which ones. Some of them I may have cut like their root, because I don't know from what's down here to what's up there. So I'm just kind of watching them, and if they start to wilt or whatever, I'll go ahead and pull them and use them. I have a batch of green tomatoes that a lot fell and broke off while I was, you can see them on the ground, while I was cleaning all this up. But you can see this, this is a bell pepper plant, and I didn't pull it. But you can see what a big, beautiful plant it is. But I haven't got the first lick of fruit off of it because I'm keeping it too wet because it's here with these tomatoes. Oh, look at what I found. And I found several of these. Chit-chit! Got a snack for you. And I found several of those worms in this batch right here. But you can see it's loaded. I'm still loaded with tomatoes. But once I cut all these, I have a lot more that are ripened up today. And I've been working the last couple of days cutting all this down and getting it all trimmed up. This one, not so much. I've been whacking away at it a little bit at a time. But these are my Cherokee purples. There's some down there. So I trimmed a lot of, and that's all I really care about is these Cherokee purples. I want to see, oh, that's got a little blush on it. So it's working. So all of these were buried, like up in the greenery and stuff. So either they would start to rot and I would miss them. And then all of these cherry tomatoes, I can't wait till I can just pull them out and get rid of them. I'm so sick of cherry tomatoes. But that's what, I mean, everything looks nice and cleaned up, and I'm working on getting it clean and starting to replant. I guess I said I was going to leave them, but I do need that space to get some other stuff planted and get going on. They have September and October time frame, but I'd like to get a lot of stuff planted in for September. And then I'll also show you this other little project. We had a bad problem. We had some rats that moved in. So I've cleaned all this out. I guess my husband, I don't know if he threw that down there or what, but we had them in the corner there. And then so he's built his nifty little trap here. We haven't gotten any, and they moved out once we dug all this out. But I found rat droppings in the nesting boxes. So what I've done is I use this shop vac quite a bit. I shop vac up everything because I want to see if, you know, if I'm getting any more droppings or if they're getting in here. But they were getting in the nesting boxes, and this is what I do for the nesting boxes. Some of my really thin material, which I do cut my own. I do have some that I bought, and I decided I wanted to go with those. So I've cut my own. I got some of those plastic things. But what I do is I vacuum everything out, clean them all out, vacuum them out. And I have, here's the dirty ones. So I have a set that I can trade out. So I got those ready to be washed. I got all of these washed and clean. So what I do is this goes down. I always put a little bit of this dust, the poultry dust. So that's what that is, some poultry dust. And then I also got this, some coop, and it's eucalyptus smell. So I'm hoping that deters, and I'm going to put it all the way around the outside here, even of this storage area. So I hope that deters any of the rats coming in. They don't like a lot of smells like that. But this is what I'll do. I'll vacuum this out, clean it out, put, I don't have a whole lot of those, and some of those I have, but then some I have the thicker bought grass that just goes in there like that. But I just make sure I put some of that down. I try and sprinkle some up around the corners and stuff, and that's just a protected, just kind of help protect them from if we get mites or something like that. And it really works good for ants. I have it here in the back window and stuff where it took care and got rid of all the ants. So I'm getting ready to clean their pen out, and I'm going to see if there was mice up in there, if there's any mice droppings in there too. But I thought you'd just be interested to see. I got 6 nesting boxes along here, and all they do is they all flip-flop around 1 or 2 of them, and that's about it. But I'll take this, I'll put one of these in here, put one of these in here, and then I will, I've got some straw in a container, and I'll fill them, I'll give them a little bit of straw. And just like this one too, we used this one, the meat birds. When we had meat birds, we had them in here. And so this was lower to the ground for the meat birds. And so there's 3 more nesting boxes, and I don't even know why I keep those up, because they don't even use those. But luckily today we didn't need no fans. It's kind of a little bit muggy right now, but we're working on the rat issue, and my husband with his nifty little trap, and then I vacuum and clean out everything. And they were starting to get a little bit smelly, and then I found the rat droppings in there, so I guess they've been getting in there. And then also I wanted to show you sandbox. So I have them a sandbox. People talk about, you know, what they use for their bath, their dirt baths and stuff, and I put sand, and I don't know where they dug up all those rocks, but there's a bunch of rocks in there, and they'll come up and sit around the edge and stuff, but that's where they bath, either there or all that there and soft. And that's that was horse pellets that I put on the ground when this used to get wet. But we have it all covered now. We have a screen on there, and then we put a roof on there. This was our first experiment in making, there's a little corner over there that's kind of weird, so my husband never got that finished up. But this is kind of our first experiment on our first little house. And they would just stand out in the rain, and then I would have them, they would be sneezing and coughing and get sick. So instead of having sick birds and stuff, I just thought it'd be better just to put a roof on there. But as you can see, that's not occupied right now because they're all out running around the yard and enjoying their time out around the yard and out, well, under my porch, actually. No, they're all kind of out here. What are y'all doing? So I'm gonna show you. This is house number 2. So I'll show you my other girls. So these are my old ladies. Some of my old ladies, and of course Rudy over there. And my old ladies just kind of lounge around. Babette, you ready to come out? You had your egg, laid your egg. So Babette and Bubbles get to come out because I'm trying to transition them over to the other. Move on, girl. Trying to transition them over to the other house, but they haven't quite. They don't quite go in the coop yet because they're not allowed, I guess. Well, I guess you don't want to go out. And this is my beautiful little boy. Hey there, big boy. You're so pretty. And these are my blue egg layers. And that's my green olive egger. And I got 2 boys in here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leghorns, and then 2 over there olive eggers. Haven't seen none of their eggs yet. And then 1 stray over here, Blondie. Some farmer had 1 hatch, and my husband went to get some worms from him, and he hands him a bird and says, "Here, you want another bird?" So she's kind of over here. She's a little bit young and doesn't like to be bothered by Rudy. So but we went in, and there's no screen up here, nothing. We put on a roof, and because this is the west side right here and it gets really hot, we put up some fiberglass, and then I got tobacco shading, and when it's real hot in the morning I can drop that down. But this is basically what this was a shooting house, just a blank shooting house, and we were going to put it in the way that we wanted to. So what have we got in here? Ooh, we got 3 eggs here because I didn't get a pad put in here yet. And Babette's brown egg should be over here. Yep, there it is. So I come inside to check their eggs. They have 4 nesting boxes. Since I'm going to try and integrate some of these girls over to the other side, especially the Buff Orpingtons. Watch out, big boy. Come on. You going to come out, Babette? You gonna come out? I'm not coming back over here. Well, then you're gonna stay in then. But this is their house. And I painted it and painted the edge. My husband had to make a new door because the door kind of warped. And I need to clean in here. So I've got their cover out and washed. But this is they nest across here, and this is their board across here. And I have it where when I clean in here, I sweep it all out and dig all that out. This board is removable, so I can move it out of the way so I'm not hitting my head. But they jump up here, come up here, and then this is where they nest up here and up here. I got 2 windows here. And this was just a cheap, well, wasn't cheap, but this is a shooting house that was just, we ordered it, and the guy that builds them, it's just a blank shooting house. And then there's their nesting boxes. They jump up on there and go up in their nesting boxes. So that's their house, and it has a tin roof on it. So that's about all I've been doing out here, just working on getting everything cleaned up and getting there. But this is so I cut my own, so I'll cut this, and this is what goes up underneath their, instead of like sand or anything like this, I just do that up underneath their nesting area. And then in the wintertime, I will deep litter that, so I will fill that full. I will fill that full of straw, and I'll keep it deep littered full in the bottom, and then in the spring I'll just clean it out. And but that's all. That's about all I've been doing today, and everybody's happy and running around and enjoying this nice cool day. So Thank you for listening to me and looking at my video and just kind of walking around with me. And there's Rudy. And running around with me and seeing everything that's going on in my backyard. Thank you, and you all have a great day.